slow. Jeez. Ah! Hi. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the simple sword and the fighting axe. It's also brought to you by my lovely, incredibly patient patrons who've put up with the absolute marble. Jeez. Nope. Ah. Lydia. Anyway. So, I drink my mystery drink like it's the blood of Shoggoth von Richthofen. Okay. Sorry, folks. As you can see, we had some technical difficulties. To those of you who saw the first, 20 minutes of black screen whilst I dealt with these dang things, computers hate me, and the best I can figure is the Shoggoths, having escaped from, avoiding the last battle, decided to descend into my computer and wait to ambush me. They did not, however, expect me to expect them. We had some weapons malfunctions. These things happen. So far, so good. That was not Mr. Trashman. I said that's enough. Anyhow. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Historical Fencing Guild's weekly live stream. We are on try 3. There were some battles. Lydia held her own, had some weapons malfunctions. The Shoggoths figured out to stay out of my melee range. They're getting smarter. But we are back, folks, and today is a very special day. We'll try this again. As I said, the Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by my sales of the simple sword and the fighting axe, which usually are a little more same than this, because everyone should learn how to sword fight. Normally, I just stab the Shoggoths and they go away, but they amassed and were lobbing things. I don't need that. Okay. So, when things are working, the Historical Fencing Guild is a proud member of the Rising Tide broadcast network. Follow this link for all the channel changes because my data may be a little old. I'm glad. I am so glad the axe came in. And guys, if you buy my book, which you should do, please review it. So I put a huge shout out to my Patreon members, Steve Augusta, Stef Mari, Brian K. Morris, Cindy Kep. Oh, God. Bladed Thesis and Foxy together with their powers combined. The amazing Steve Clausen. And Ronald Riehn, whose name sometimes slips my mind because he's a quiet supporter, and boy, do I appreciate it. Anyhow. Thank you for bearing with the 20 minutes. I am really impressed with how well you guys were able to amuse yourselves in the comments while I was dealing with the frickin' tech Shoggoths. I I've never heard of anyone else having YouTube lock them out of their own stream midstream. Oh, I have beaten the Shenanigators. Wow, Shenanigators. I like that. Shenanigators back with the forces of extremely advanced Nerf weaponry, and there's a bomb. Good God. Looks like Master Chief blew up in here, but that's okay. So yes, I was able to hold off the Shoggoths. Lydia covered my flank. She has earned some points back since the Starbucks incident. Forgive me, I'm gleaning some ammunition just in case. They were getting recruitment, and I'm not really in the mood to deal with more of that. But we made it work. They are beat back. I will take your get on well and keep ourselves going well. Hey, you know what? I appreciate it, guys. And be sure to hit the like button. Obviously, I am able to afford trainers and apparently upgrading my Nerf gear now to hold off the Shoggoths. Thanks to my wonderful Patreon supporters. So you guys are amazing. I also, totally off topic, want to thank Luke Stone for supporting me and working with me for the Hybrids, the Sons of Gods RPG project. And John Miner is up to some cool stuff. Yes, Stream Day and Sword Day makes me be happy. Okay. I got some good rate of fire on my new DMR. But yes, folks, I don't really know how to top that beginning, but we'll keep an eye out for assorted horrors as they horrors. Shut up, Christian. Anyhow, I know, guys. No, I didn't. To answer Steve's question, right now the only change I've made is, aside from acquiring some more bags, which the ones that are capable of this will be getting a black grip strip. I popped out a 2X, I think, target. They to upgrade it. I don't know if I want to upgrade the spring because these things are throwing at about 130 to 140 feet per second. For those who don't know, this is my new Nerf blaster. This is my favorite Nerf blaster ever. It fires 4 types of darts with slight modifications. And basically, I'm raining death. This is my new DMR. But that is not guild related. If you need more of the other, I can provide. Hey, you know what? I will accept all donations. You know that, Steve. So yes, guys, spring is here. The Shoggoths are clearly in season, possibly in heat. I may have to pull some favors with some forces of dimness. Not full darkness, but I know at least one Satyr Krampus dude who just might be able to come over and compete with this sort of thing. Steve, you're on the public net, bud. Today is a special day. Why is today a special day? Well, aside from the complete derailment by Shoggoth Invasion, I got to see Brian K. Morris, who gave me a copy of this. And since he gave me Pulp Reality #1, I'm going to plug it. Look this up, guys. From Stormgate Press. This is amazing. I love pulpy stuff. I like heroes. And yes, Steve. Yes. But, guys, it is spring. That means we are looking at more Filey practices. At the end of the month, I should get my first shot, which means as early as middle of next month, I might be able to start arranging practices. it's just a matter of planning and setting and getting things up. I have 2 Nerf guns that I really love. I let my nephew, he lost them. Yes. If you're looking for Nerf guns, actually, many of you don't know this. I do have other interests other than sword, and Nerf has been a passion of mine since Nerf was new. Yes, I am that old. Yes, we're just gonna roll with that. My favorite blaster for years was the Hammer Shot or the Double Strike. I like the Hammer. Before that, it was the Maverick. Going all the way back to the Bazooka, which was probably one of the coolest things ever. But this is because I'm getting, yes, hold on. Yes, I'm gonna, okay. This is the Adventure Force Nexus Pro, purchasable from Walmart. The only modification I've added thus far is some snazzy black on a Dart Zone 10 round dart and I want to say 2.5x zoom sight. This is a stock that this will shoot 4 different kinds of darts. It'll shoot standard darts, half darts with an adapter that's not in here. Because I went through them off screen. Actually, it will shoot Rival and it will shoot Mega. It runs any magazines that are straight. And like I said, my favorite part is you can actually barrel load and you still get really nice accuracy. So this is $50, but if you're going to buy one Nerf gun, it takes AR-15 style buffer tube stocks. It's sturdy. This is a Picatinny rail up top. On the bottom, you can get adapters, and the foregrip pump is actually on a Picatinny rail if you take it apart. This is take apartable too. It's all malleable. Basically, this thing is Christmas in a can, and I don't buy things for me. I don't think it has the range I need, like a 7.62 at 1,800 yards. That's fine. If I'm shooting that far, I'm borrowing somebody I know's 338 Lapua, and I'm just going to send it. But I like Nerf guns because they don't hurt anybody. And, YouTube doesn't get mad with the weaponry side of things. So, very good. We've got some good stuff. God, there was something on sale. I did not expect a tech problem and a Shoggoth invasion. Just didn't expect it. So and now my phone crashed. Yes, folks, my phone crashed whilst I was fighting tech Shoggoths. It is yet another day at the Historical Fencing Guild. I'm really ready to have people and sword fight. I think it will be less strenuous and dangerous to do so. At least I'm hoping. So I am planning, while we're getting on, we're going to try to get back in the swing of things. So I appreciate any support we can have. And as always, I'll take your questions. Brian, I actually talked to Brian today. He gave me that wonderful book I will be reading and reviewing. I don't review till I read. It's one of those things. But he was worried, and I get this. I'm not very knowledgeable on the subject, so I don't want to interrupt. No, that would be where I used to live, John. This is all recent, and this is all tech-based. These are like pre-programmed, I don't know, artificial Shoggoths? I did tick off a techno cult. Anyhow, wonderful. I'm so happy, Cindy. Cindy kept us reading The Armored Rose by Toby Beck. This is one of those books. Stef Mari, if you are listening, if you see this later, read that book. Bladed Thesis, please. Yeah, cybernetic Shoggoths. These things happen. I mean, that's normal, right? Wow, I'm actually rocking the static fro. That's okay. My curls have curls right now, and I'm okay with it. I'm not currently a lumberjack, but I am okay. I'm not currently a chimney sweep, but I have been, and I'm lucky too. That being said, yes, spring is sprung. Cindy Kemp is reading one of the most important books written for a female sword-based martial artist. Yes, really. John's right. He's read it. Especially armorers. If you are going to attempt to armor women, and you should, women deserve good armor. Not things that bite, not things that are too heavy. Um, they deserve good armor, and they need to talk about it. They also deserve good weaponry. Now, I was talking to my beloved patrons, and if you guys want influence on what's coming aside from Shoggoth Invasions, be sure to join my Patreon. $1 a month not only gets you access to early things and special articles as I write them, it also gets you access to pros. I think it might also explain why I'm having trouble with. Yeah, you will find that. Cindy, you have to be adaptive, especially for some of the more fluid Eastern systems. They often, don't quite flow. Sometimes you need to find a female practitioner and check how they've adapted the styles. Oh God, Cindy, there's a gentleman. I'm going to send you to a friend of mine named Marco. He has a channel, and he might be able to give you more information on really good sources for Eastern stuff. But yeah, well, and it's necessary. And please, one of Nick's big gripes is people who treat having a female body type like it's a handicap. It is not. It is a different way of movement. Whereas, I need actually, I'm gonna grab this guy. I love this stick. This is one of my favorite canes that I've made. I made it expressly as a sword simulating object for teaching different styles. A fence is nice from this point. Concussive works real well here. And if I ever had to define myself, the edge would be tight. But, okay. We need to talk. We'll talk because I can explain the wrists easiest because I have access to them. Now, the wrap shot, which, if you're a sword and board person, so let's put a shield in my hand. I don't have a big shield here handy because of room. Oh, I have video of a girly person who is doing, but it's more flourishy, maybe. And that's a thing. They often make when you have a male practicing the fan styles, they tend to make it more abrupt as part of the masculinity. Yes, I am aware. Boink. Okay, but as I said, I'm going to use a shield. This is my happy little buckler painted orange, okay? So assume it's bigger. Very often, when you have a shield, you couched, and it would, again, bigger, but we're working in limited space. The shot comes in. Now, when two people are fighting, they are shield to shield. These style shots become limited in effect. What you need is what's called a wrap shot. Let me see if I can get far enough so you can see the motion. It curls around and hits them in the back. So a wrap shot curls around, and that's not the strike. You can strike there, and if you miss, oh God, more space. Bam! It's the follow through. So wrap. That way, you're shield to shield, and you're actually pounding the back of their head. You're striking lower to hit their back. It's a wonderful stuff. I need to short shake this just a bit. Oh, there went my phone. Yeah, guys, I'm having one of those nights. There went my mouse. And we'll see if we're still here. Ha ha! Tech hates me today, and I'm hating it right back. Vengeance is mine! But, okay. So the wrap shots curl and hit. For a masculine wrist, so if I do it left-handed, go, I hate this. Now, please forgive my extra kind of staunchiness, but I worked a lot today, so I have to keep the braces on. You have to wrap it and pull it. Wrap, pull. That snap is the strike. It hits the back of the head, cervical vertebrae, shoulders. A low version hits the hips, which can be surprisingly devastating, and extremely low can sever the tendons on the back of the knee. Hey, Little John, what's up? And hey, Tommy, even if you're not in the lower 48 anymore. Shout out. But yes, look, understanding that fluidity is there has other effects. Let's take this, which, again, Syndicap, if you don't own one of these, you really, when your stimulus check, throw about $12. It may be more, it may be less. Look around, get yourself one of these. Probably two. The fluidity of the wrap shot in a female wrist is very transferable to light weapons. I am not a big Game of Thrones fan. Not that I have a problem with it, it's just I can't usually watch that style of content with my son in the room for obvious reasons. And the vast majority of the time, the TV is the one in the living room. I'm not one to come in here on my computer and work on, watch something like that. But I had seen videos of trading and the plots where there is a progression with Arya that is one of the most important things in modern fantasy and martial arts literature that, in film, that we're going to see. She understood a few things. When you look at the mentality of her needle, she needed something light, fast, small that fit her. It worked because it was scaled to her and she made it do what she needed to do. When she went after the walkers, even though her art was terrible, whoever drew I want this weapon didn't really make it work real well for somebody who's like, here, I have an idea, make this. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming there was an off-screen conversation. But they basically made a Mardu kind of thing or a double glaive with those dragon glass blades. But they were both scaled to her, and she had previous training in staff. So she made a weapon that would work with the same body mechanics that she's used. So I think Cindy will find a lot of the straight motions, the jerks, especially with the closed blade, closed fan, will transfer very well to essentially long knife parry dagger. And from there, because some of the blocks and catches will actually catch into a psi-like motion. And that's what you look for. When I look at styles, I want to see how it works with my body mechanic and how I can relate it to what I'm doing. That's interesting. There we go. I had to unstick that because it would have driven me nuts. Okay. But yeah, I have not watched the show. Let me skip back because I almost had what's called a comment dump, but I'm not going to complain about it. Let's see. Blade thesis. Let's see. Adapt to what works for you. We were there. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I have a video of girly person flourishing. Yes, it is very fluid. Now, you can do different things and incorporate and take away the fluidity and the flourishiness for comfort, for dance, and for distraction. When I was first learning, and this is bladed thesis, hi bladed thesis. When I was first learning my Yang style, Yang style Tai Chi. Now you're in my bailiwick. Should be willing doing the form expressed to everyone that you won't be good as her. You won't, and your body will still move slightly different. I love a little bit of Yang Tai Chi. That makes me happy. John talks about yes, I will take a group of Valkyries over Sword Bashers any day. They're impressive and can stay in formation without Lone Wolf Urge. Lil John says hi. That's why she's a good uncle. I am so far behind. Okay, so we are caught up. We'll make sure we're caught up. I want to talk about something John said. One thing I have found in working with female fighters, everybody who swords fights has something to prove. Maybe it's to themselves, maybe it's to an opponent, maybe it's measured in will you stop? Maybe it's measured in other combat. I have no idea what that's about. Sorry about the voice clips, Steve. My phone is spazzing out and deciding to randomly send voice clips. But I enjoy working. Usually I find when I'm working with a female student as a norm, it's about building up and drawing some of the aggression out till they get over this mental hump and then catching them on the downslide. Some people like Steph come already gifted with exuberance and aggression. We just have to tweak it. I do like not having to play macho games because the older I get and the sorer I get, the less likely I am to play macho games. And the more likely I am to stash a Nerf gun and shoot them in the nose just for amusement when they leave themselves too wide open. I almost apologized for doing that to Bob, but it was funny, so I won't. Now, Thesis says, simplified 24 Yang style was one of my very first styles. It's still the Bagua and a little Wing Chun. Okay. I like that. Let me explain why. What we're talking about. Tai Chi, when done right, is a wonderful foundation. Okay? Let me run a parallel. In mixed martial arts, you want to know boxing, you want to know grappling, and you kind of want to know kickboxing. Now, you get jiu-jitsu for your grappling a lot of the time, kickboxing, boxing. That way you got your strikes, you got your elbows and knees, you got your roll on the ground game. For the softer arts, Tai Chi is great. It builds endurance, it builds flow, and very importantly, it trains the body in physical awareness. Steve, I told you no guns because you wouldn't stop at Nerf. For what Bladed Thesis is doing is he's making a good triumvirate. And I like to think in triumvirates of styles. So for him, he's the Tai Chi is a great base. Bagua Long Fist is a very reaching style. There's a lot of movement, but with the Tai Chi foundation, you know your body and your balance to get the long sweeping movements. And then when it closes in, the Wing Chun will follow in for these really nice, short kind of jabs. I like that. So that's what you want. You want. When I'm fencing, I have a variety. You're going to see Gigante is my basis, but I love Destreza, which is a Spanish magic circle. I do a very, very simplified bonehead. This is like a Spanish cantrip circle. You know what I mean? I'm not going deep. I want enough to keep things comfortable. And then, honestly, I have what I call gobbledygook, because you're going to have a mix of Tai Chi body types and sword strikes. If you look at a basic Tai Chi form and you see the motions, Many times, if you're watching the motions, can I pull that down? It looks like you're looking a little high there. Okay. I love, for example, parting the wild horse's mane, which is hard to do sitting, but you get this kind of thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense just open-handed. It feels like there's an extra motion there. But if you integrate a sword draw, suddenly Tai Chi works really well. And what's interesting, while Tai Chi is usually coupled with a Jian, which is a Chinese straight sword, and second, like this guy, very smooth, straight, and flowing, you would be shocked to see how well Tai Chi translates to Dao. And Dao is basically a saber. It's a curved, discarded saber. Not discarded, but so it really is something to look at. And what you want is motions that transfer. If you find yourself in different styles doing the same thing. Now, for me, I have things that have happened from, I had many years where blocks and arm blocks and redirection, a very yin approach, were my bread and butter because I was in a situation of coupling that with CPI, so I'm defending myself, but I'm in no way hurting the individual or absolute minimum to keep myself sane. Oh, I'm sorry. It sounds like Foxy got the first sunburn. I think so. Learned two Stef. I stopped teaching and I started on my own. Hey, look, guys, martial art. I'm gonna upset some purists, and I'm okay with that. There are some people who are recipe martial artists. They pick up the book, and let's just say it's a good book. This is a good book. They go, this is the style. And they study the book, and they follow the book, and they do what it says, and it works for them. If you try that with this book, the book will fight you because the book's like, learn what works for you, because I wrote it. So you want to find what works in a style and then throw away what doesn't. Chinese mysticism, a little Taoism. You can have fun. Don't be afraid to take what you need. The sixth set has what seems some very overextended. Let's talk about that. See, that's another really neat thing about slow practice arts. And this is one of those that I took hardcore from Eastern systems and I applied to Western. And I haven't seen a lot of people who do it. If there are, good on them. Train slow. It is far more important that your parry be correct when you're training than you get a hit. And this yep. I would rather have the student do the right thing and then have to adjust their timing than get lucky. Because if you're lucky, now what does an overextended? An overextended teaches you how to work at the farthest. So it's the least comfortable. Yes. Oh, one of my favorite things he said was Bai Shao Nan Jiao. Told me means northern hands, southern feet. I love it. And yeah. Now I actually Spanish footwork and Italian blade work is something I can do, but your calibration has to be spot on to pull it off. And then again, I've got different Chinese elements, and that's kind of how I make the soup of my style. That's nice kind of stir fry. And that's awesome. It works. You find what works for you, and that's what you do now, you do later, you do every day. because as soon as you find your style, you use it. Now, you guys see me go through a redonkulous level of tools out here. And I know that's a little odd, but bear with me. I'm doing it because I'm exposing you guys to styles. If you see me spar, you can ask people like Steve or Stephanie or John. I tend to go, I want to stay with one or two of the weapons. I can make them all go, but I want to know so that I can perfect. And it's one of those where the only way I'm going to get better is by doing it. Remember, we were talking about marksmanship last time? We're talking about throwing knives. Why throwing knives is important to fencing. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Yes, Syndicate, the Mutant Distressa. Oh god, like when we find the right sparring tools, I think you're gonna have a blast. Yeah, and that's the thing. You want to be always careful of your opponent's safety, because calibration can be a major problem. And that's one of the few things I don't suffer and I do not tolerate is people who use bad calibration as a punishment for issue. I know some teachers who use spike for spike. You spike them, they spike you back harder. That's their choice. I'll just stop and say, go take a minute, drink some water, maybe drill. Because I'm not going to risk hurting somebody to prove a point. That's who I am. That's what I am. I'm also not going to risk me anymore. I've been broken and battered by, learning to do things the hard way. So I'm going to try to keep things to the easier way now. Let's see. Oh, to answer the question I was just sent, if I like Nerf guns, why do I still do martial arts? Even if this were a real gun, which it's not, obviously, this holds 10 darts, and then I have to do something about it. This pokes until I die. Oh yeah, School of Hard Knocks. Dunk, 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 dunk. Ooh, look, garlic. But Greg, the garlic farmer, wants my dagger. No, sorry, obscure reference. But we need guys to find what works and works for us for what we're doing. And that's why scaling is so important. But it's also versatility. There are a lot of places I couldn't take a firearm. There are many places I can't take a knife. If I have access to a stick, I can at least mitigate the damage coming to me. If I have access to a pen, while I can't defensively, it would be difficult to use. Offensively, it has options. Not nice options, nothing I want to use on anyone or anything. And yes, I was waiting for John to make the Moonwolf reference. And he said a musket holds but only one death. Oh shoot! No, holds many. My floor is caffeinated. Well, guess I'm accidentally pouring one out for the homies who didn't make it. Here's to you, Ben. Now, and yeah. Ooh. Share pictures. I'd love to see what she got. Absolutely. Bam. My little musket. I'm going to have to adjust this one because I made the wrap tape a little too low, so now it's riding too low on the handle for me to be really happy. And it's kind of annoying me because it should be much closer to there. But it still goes, and I do like things that go. And yeah, a musket, that's why you have options. Whoa. Anyway, what is that? Okay. You fed them after midnight, shame. Oh. Is that how you... Do you want shoggoths? Because that's how you get shoggoths. I haven't spilled any in a long time. Anyway. Well, hopefully, hey, who knows? Maybe the real shoggoths will fight the fake shoggoths. But that's okay. And guys, okay. We're about an hour plus into what should be the broadcast. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to help me keep this insanity going, and boy, of late, has it been insane, consider becoming a patron for even $1. I may, at this rate, institute a Shoggoth level just for SMG, but or maybe an anti-Shoggoth league. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. Spring is coming. We need to talk about how to set up your list field. Well, I don't need a list field. Yes, you do. Everybody needs a list field, even if it's a 5x5 square where you only have room for rubber knives. You need a list field. So what I need you guys to do is think about how to get it. Now, I'm going to give you my favorite method. If you go down to Walmart, you'll find a plastic Walmart. Oh, not Walmart, like Menards. Some Walmarts, and it's like they're fence posts. They're plastic. They're square. They have little hooky things, and they're about $1 something at your friendly neighborhood Menards or Home Depot or whatever. Get that. Get some rope. You want 5 of them minimal. Well, I'm making a list field. Why don't I 4 and I could just go under the ropes? No, that's a rookie mistake. Why? Never plan like you're healthy leaving a list field. Plan like you're gimpy leaving a list field. And again, I'm using that term knowing it is derogatory, but as a means of taking it back so that everyone understands that's what I'm about. You simply 4 corners and then about 3 feet, 2.5 feet from one of the corners along the perimeter, along the square, add a stick. Why? Because then when you run your ropes to block it off and you want to do 2 or 3 strands, use cheap but bright colored rope. The yellow junk works fine. Where is my list field? Oh, where? Here we go. As you can see in this image, put a table outside the list field at the edge. That table is to put weapons while you alter. Put seats 3 feet from the rope because that should keep them roughly safe. Still, anyone sitting close enough to watch about needs to be careful. I like to stand, that way you have the mobility, but I understand. Lighting is crucial, so you want to set lights up anywhere you can outside the list field that shines in that do not shine on your face. Unless you're like me and that's part of how you teach people to weaponize light. And then do so, but do so singly. Keep water on hand. Guys, we are now well into the realm of warm. And we don't think it right now because, oh no, it's been 20. This is Indiana. It could be 80 tomorrow or the next couple days. And that would be totally accurate and normal because it's Indiana. So you can't give yourself too much hassle. Have lots of water, lots of paper, disposable cups. Paper, if you can get paper cups, you can compost those. The more it grows, it's pretty. I can't wait. Please share pictures of your swords on the Historical Fencing Guild's public Facebook group, which anyone can join. They do have to speak English and have enough on their profile that I look at them and I don't go, bot. So I do credit that. And the rules are pretty simple. Don't be rude excessively. No hate speech. Usual stuff. Mighty swings the banhammer, and long may it swing, because it is just and good and true. Wow, old school moderators. But I want you guys to plan a place, and I want you, if you're not drilling at least every other day, I want you to start drilling. I want you to put an SSO, that's Sword Simulating Object, for those of you who haven't read my book, which you should, in your hand. If you don't have one, you can make one out of a 25-cent piece of wood lath. You just simply cut it, narrow it down, slide a guard. You can make it out of PVC. That one got a little splattery, but that's okay. Which will only cost you $1 or something. You can buy them. If you're not sparring with someone, you can pick up a cheap Halloween knockoff. Use a Nerf sword. Don't train with live steel unless you're doing cutting and you know what you're doing. Be very careful with live steel. As a rule, I do not suggest live steel. There are exceptions, but we are not talking about them at this level, this early into getting back in shape. Now, I do want to encourage you, if you are coming into it, okay, and I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a therapist, I've just done this a while, so caveats on the table. If you're going to start drilling, for now, drill slow and alternate, day on, day off. Steve Clausen says iron rods are great. Back in the day, I used to drill with a crowbar, so I'm not going to give you any flack on that, Steve. But we're geared, and this part of the conversation is geared usually to people who are a little physically less inhuman. But if you are strong and you want something, train with something strong. Now, once you build some strength up, training with a strong and drilling with a stronger, heavier version to build up the weight and endurance so that when you fight with your actual sparring version, it's lighter, is a brilliant and time-honored tactic. That will help you get the strength and build up to the kind of endurance. What we do is an aerobic thing. Okay, anaerobics are great for getting in shape in a certain way, but you need to modulate your breathing because breathing is your control. It's your measure for tempo. You need the air to power your engine. So keep that in. Good air in, bad air out. Train slow. Record yourself. Cindy Kemp is just being a trademark of everything I would love to see in a student. She picked a single style. She picked a single weapon. Cindy decided, I am going to focus on Chinese fans because they're cool. And that's another thing. Don't necessarily pick a weapon style because I say, hey, I like it. If it's not your thing, don't waste your time because if you're not enjoying it, you won't keep doing it. But if you are enjoying it, that's when you're going to, that's when you're really going to find what works and what fits your body type. And that's important, okay? So you really, guys, you need to calibrate. I often say the size of weapon and the weight, but the duration, start slow. And even if I have had days with, obviously when I was really having hand problems, or if I could drill a couple, 2, 3, 5 shots, and I have to stop for a few hours, that's still more than I was doing without. Wow, I can spell. But I want you guys to make sure, and you know what? This is a bit of homework. All of you who don't have a specific training weapon, or those of you who have many, pick one this week. Okay, between now and next Friday, and alternating. So that's gonna be okay. Well, I'll let you skip Easter because it is the resurrection of our Lord, and that's kind of a big deal to us Christiany types. If you aren't a Christian, feel free to work through Easter. I don't force my beliefs on people. But drill alternating, okay? And just see how it feels. Tell me how it's working. Get on the comments. If you are on the Patreon, member, by all means, I can set up a chat post thing. We can talk about what's working, what's not, because I want to help you guys get where you need to be. And the only way you'll be able to go to those big summer events and those wars that happen for different groups and the LARPs when the world really opens up in a couple months is to start getting in shape now. And yes, I am listening to my own thing. And I intend to do exactly what I am telling you. So we're going to work on this together, and we're going to keep it up. Now I want to have a word from our sponsors, okay? This week I want to talk about Game Shady Stories. Game Shady Stories is an overpriced yet somehow free cell phone app that has nothing to do with my channel. Guys, if you like what we're doing and you're watching this, please consider becoming patrons. I do everything I can to cater to patron needs and interests. You get early access to publications. You can help dictate what gets written and published first, as well as special videos, other things. As things open up, I am planning a very special video that would have been last week, but we've had some problems. I've had some family issues, not local, but extended, that required extra care. So if you want support, do that. If you want, guys, buy my book. If you're not sure you want to buy my book, Kindle Unlimited. Download it. Read it. All the way through. If you like it, buy it then. Okay? If you don't like it, that's fine. It's on Kindle Unlimited to let you try before you buy. But I do ask, if you like it, please buy it. And if you think you're going to buy it, go through it on Kindle Unlimited anyway. I have my reasons. I'm also a huge fan of the hard copies. I know this has been a tough time, and things have gotten derailed and insane, and I am so proud of you guys. I know this might not be what you're expecting right now, but this channel is not like a lot of other channels. It may be a little underfed, it may be rather staticky, and things go wrong. But I think we've got more heart here than dozens of the I am macho This is how we fight. This is what we do. Ugh. Okay? Blade, longsword, greatsword, double dagger, sword and board, spear, archery, artillery. Okay, John asked a good question. What should I work on? Glaive, longsword, bowsword, dagger, sword and board, spear, archery. John, work on your staff. Slow work. I'm going to say work on your staff because, John, you and I know something. The staff is a magical weapon. I don't mean sorcery. Behold my Gandalf like abilities. No. Staff is magical because it is both the beginning and the end of weapons training, in my opinion. If you learn how to fight staff, guys, the basics, very familiar. Sweep the floor, all that fun will transfer over. And so, you'll be working with a greatsword and realize, hey, I know this body mechanic. I'm working with a spear. Hey, I know how to do that from staff. Hey, I'm sword fighting. Well, it's a short staff. Bam. The staff is what I consider a sort of master's test. In that when you're beginning, here's a stick. Make a stick go. This is basically a Joe staff length. I'm rather fond of about a 4-foot staff. You know what, John? For you, I would say a 5-foot, because that'd be about a Joe staff. What I want you to do, if you're serious, and you're not just messing with me because of your many things, staff. And, oh God, now my connection's going to be unstable? Anyway, revisit the staff. Flow through it. Let your Tai Chi get hold of it. Use it. I want you to start cross-referencing your different martial styles and having it blend back into the staff. When you've reached age and maturity, it isn't about new techniques. It's not new styles anymore. It's you are grabbing strands, you're braiding the rope, and you're maintaining it. So that's what you need to do. You need to go slow, and you need to weave exactly. But John, weave all your stuff into this. Okay? You know what I am telling you. Balance, control, focus, efficiency. No, age does not equal maturity. And we all go through the gate of the fool many times. So what we have to do is constantly slow down and revisit what we're doing and what we know. Thus, something like this, where we're going back to a weapon that is all weapons and none of them at the same time, that can be incredibly balancing. And that's what I think John needs right now. I didn't say grow up. What's the point of being an adult if you can't be immature sometimes? Paraphrasing my favorite doctor. But that's what, for you, that's what I really think would do you best. Because you don't need to learn how to swing a great sword. You've done it. Glaive, staff, spear, short sword, long sword. But if you focus on for you about a 5-foot staff, for me about 4-foot staff, and you just let it be what it is at that moment. So let it flow. Let it be a great sword till it's not a great sword anymore, till it becomes a spear, till it becomes a reverse grip glaive. Find that flow. KB Toys. Oh, I was a KB Toys outlet kid. Yeah, I'll say that. Anyway, but before we could learn the staff form, we had to make sure we knew the staff. Yes. Now, there's a lot of talk on forms, and I have feelings. I have opinions on forms. Forms are beautiful and dangerous because they are very much double-edged sword. What do I mean? 1 second, whilst I have a beverage. Now, forms work great for teaching mechanic stuff, but yeah, Jurassic Park, yes, but the danger is that the dance becomes root. Now, what I mean is, if I drill the same sequence, I love a good kata is a beautiful thing all the time. My body learns it as a song. And there comes a point where you need to stop thinking of it as a song and start thinking of what are the individual phrases? What are the little combos that make the song so that you can break it apart and write your own song as you need to? Because from that metaphor, training with a weapon and practicing and sparring is not just a dialogue between two people, but it's a composition. You have to write your statement. You have to write your song. It's not a song, it's a sandwich. I've had some sandwiches sing, though. I'm a fat guy, and I appreciate a good sandwich. Now my toys come from Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply has some good toys. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to listen and feel the transition and let something fluid in your case be that. I would love for everybody, basically, at one point or another, to try training with that. Oh, cool. It sounded familiar, but I can't place it. So, because it's a cheap style, and what's great is, if I want to train with this, and I'm in a weakened state, like I am now, guys, I'm not in my best shape. Oh, you know what? I'll look it up. You can take one of these, you can fill it with sand entirely for more weight. You can fill it with sand partially to make it essentially mercurial, where the sand will flow out like a dead blow hammer. And that will, fighting that extra weight will build control and focus and understanding of movement. Very simple, very elegant way to use very inexpensive means to make very functional tools to make things go. It's important that you slow, control, focus, air in, air out. Keep your feet rooted. Even as you're moving, know where the ground is, okay? I mean, there are elemental sides to this. We could get very, very Eastern very quickly and have that validity to it. You know, I am not fond of the fast spinning. I mean, it's neat. I'm in limited space, wearing metal gloves, essentially, because there are bars on my wrist. It does not make this easy. But this will build strength in your arms, build focus, and build a sense of rhythm. But you're not going to use it fighting. Your fighting's going to do things where you're moving, depending on how. So you need to learn how to throw a hit. You can throw it straight. You could do a whip where it slides. That'll get you more speed. There are little techniques. But some of the best ways are simply to play with the item. But you pick one and you get to know it. Become acquainted with how it moves for you. If you're using something like this where it's PVC and you're fighting, what you'll find is maybe you'll find it's a little short. Oh, wait, you know what? It's a little long. I need it to be a little short. When I drag, do a low parry, it drags. And you treat, and that's how you find your range when you're not sure. Like I said, I like this length anymore, in part because I don't walk. I have one cane that is a T grip where I go like this, but many times I'm walking like this, so I'm not putting the pressure on my wrist. You need to find what works for you in that. So that is your homework, guys. And you don't want, pick one weapon. Let me know. So what I want when you're done with this video, anyone who's not on the Historical Fencing Guild Facebook public group that's following this, please hop on. Anyone who is, please comment what you're working with now. And at the end of the week, tell me how it's going. Tell us so that we can work on. Did you at the end of the week think this really isn't something I want to do? Maybe you found yourself using it. That's why I love these, because this is if you don't know, this is a great training tool. How it moves will tell you what you want to train with. If you find yourself wanting to one-hand and swish and poke, congratulations, you're a rapierist. We're going to have fun. If you find yourself wanting to kind of kayak with it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're more of a glaveman or more of a spear fighter. If you're really poking pool cueing. Or maybe you just like a full-on staff. Find what works and evolve into it. Now, if I want to study a sword. Because obviously Foxy has a new sword. I assume it's a training sword. And if you bought it from PHA, I hope you used the affiliate link. That's your week project. Figure out how it wants to move. I haven't seen the sword. I just know it's a sword roughly scaled to Foxy. That means it's probably smaller. It's probably one-handed, possibly with room for a second. Figure out how it flows. Look into how it's supposed to, but then figure out how it moves for you. And that's going to be your homework tonight. This has been no, see, you're doing great. Cindy, you're already well on that path, okay? You're using the fan. Figure out how the fan works. At some point, I would love to see you combine the fan with a foil as your offhand. John, that's how you get the rust off. You oil it and Man, I'm telling Grandma how to suck eggs here, but it's the only way to get the message through, John. If you want to get better and get that looseness back, the only way is to do it slow and controlled and just do it. There is no fancy. Knife and baton is a good combo. I don't hear that enough. I like knife and baton. Knife and baton is a lot of fun. Are you thinking straight knife or something more karambity? But for my sake, I will probably. You know what? Instead of me picking it, because I have all the toys, you guys tell me. All right? Yeah, fan in the southpaw. The fan is your shield. It's your buckler. Karambity. Yeah, you know what? I could have said karambity. It would have surprised me. Oh my. My phone is messing with me. There we go. All that's saved. But I think you would find Psy interesting. That's why I keep putting you towards this. It's an offset Psy, but it's lighter than most Psy trainers. It's safe on the thrust. If you spar with anybody, it's cheaper. And you want offhand dagger, it does offhand dagger. You want to do reverse grip, it does reverse grip. You want to do psi, it does psi. There are a few grips on psi. You have this, you have this, you have, let me see, basically the tonfa psi. It's a little harder with the angle, but you can, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Versatile weapon. That's why I'm leaning that. All the fan is in the right hand, but I have to see if I can get it to go in the left. I will look for one of them elsewhere. The manufacturer. Oh, yeah, the manufacturer's always out. Check Amazon. It's usually cheaper. They're intensely popular. You might even be able to find one through Purple Heart Armory. Because these are, like I said, I harp on this, but this is one of the best trainers out there. Yes, John, your Dragon Psi is way too heavy. That's why I'm recommending this. This is lighter than even the polypropylene size, and it will give her enough to see if she likes it. Now, I know this has been a convoluted evening, guys, and I'm going to have to call it a little bit early. Normally, I would put in more time, but given all the stress I had, with everything going on and some messaging I'm getting through my phone, I'm going to have to kind of call it short to take care of some family matters. That's fine. Nothing to worry about. I want to thank you, though, for sticking with me and helping me make this week go. It was a challenge, and you guys are heroic. So you guys have your homework. The other part is on the Facebook public group, I'll try to make a thing. You guys tell me what you want me to work on this week. And then I will work on that style that you know I'm doing. And yes, I will try to the shenanigators. Please share this. Please. Obviously, like it if you haven't. If you want to support, www.patreon.com/thehistoricalfencingguild. $1 a month helps me buy the gear, which I'm saving up for. I should be getting reimbursed soon from the new month, so I will be able to possibly order something cool. Guys, thank you. And shout out to Brian K. Morris, who said he'd watch but never likes to talk. So it was great seeing you. Guys, just keep your guard up. Be good to each other, okay? Be good. Train. Do your drilling. Get on that Facebook public group. Let's get the conversation going like the colleagues we are, okay? I'm not just, an instructor. I'm a swordmaster. That's a different breed. That means I have to walk between a lot of different styles and different approaches. And it is my highest honor and privilege to do that for you guys. So thank you. And thank you for putting up with my humorous responses to technical difficulties. You guys are wonderful. I will see you next week. So thank you. Be good. And as always, support your local swordmaster.